The Golden State Warriors are at a crossroads and the clock is ticking. With the trade deadline just around the corner, the Dubs find themselves in a critical moment. Will they make a bold move or stand pat? Fans are eager for action, but whispers of big names joining the roster are growing fainter. What's next for our beloved team? Stay tuned as we dive into the possibilities that could either ignite hope or leave us wanting more. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button to keep up with all the latest Warriors news. The Golden State Warriors are in a precarious position as the trade deadline approaches, and the buzz surrounding potential moves has only intensified. With De'Aaron Fox and Zach LaVine now officially off the board, and Jimmy Butler seemingly uninterested in a trade to the Bay Area, it feels like the Warriors are losing ground in the race for top-tier talent. It's frustrating, especially when you see other teams in the Western Conference making bold moves, while the Warriors are left grasping at straws. Currently, Nikola Vucevic stands out as one of the most realistic trade targets still available for the Warriors. Bringing in the 6'10" big man would certainly help shore up the front court, but let's be honest, it lacks the excitement we crave. With so much star power being dealt around the league, can Vucevic really elevate this team to championship contention? I mean, after seeing teams like the Mavericks and Lakers make substantial upgrades, it's hard not to feel a bit disheartened. If the Warriors are still intent on bolstering their big man rotation, Miles Turner, Mitchell Robinson, or Clint Capella could be viable options. Turner is particularly intriguing as he could fit seamlessly alongside Draymond Green. His skill set as a 3-and-D big man would add much-needed versatility to the front line. The concern, however, is whether the Indiana Pacers will even be willing to part with him, especially with his contract status looming large. Now let's talk about the higher upside targets that could really shift the narrative for the Warriors. The name Zion Williamson looms large, and while acquiring him could be a game-changer, it comes with inherent risks. The Warriors have been hesitant to take bold risks lately, preferring to keep their options open while other franchises capitalize on their opportunities. I can't help but wonder, would making a move for Zion quiet some of the unrest among fans? Then there's Brandon Ingram, another potential star from the New Orleans Pelicans who's been linked to various trade talks. While his fit within Steve Kerr's system might raise some eyebrows, he's undeniably a legitimate scoring option. If the Pelicans are truly willing to move him, he might come at a lower cost than expected, especially given his impending free agency. And let's not forget Cam Johnson, who started the trade deadline as a hot commodity, but has since cooled. His bigger names have taken center stage. Johnson could provide the Warriors with a solid 3-and-D wing option, but acquiring him could be a challenge due to the high asking price from the Brooklyn Nets. As a passionate Warriors fan, I have to say this is a critical moment for the organization. With the clock ticking down to the trade deadline, the choices they make will have lasting implications for the team's future and our hopes as fans. It's hard not to feel conflicted. On one hand, we want the front office to make a splash, but on the other, we know that hasty decisions can lead to regret down the line. So, was it wise to hold off on more aggressive moves thus far? Honestly, I'm torn. I can see both sides, the desire for immediate impact versus the need for long-term stability. But every day that passes without a significant move makes it harder to believe we'll be able to contend at the highest level this season. The latest buzz surrounding the Golden State Warriors and their interest in Paul George is something we need to dive into. As a passionate fan, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and apprehension as we approach the NBA trade deadline. Reports have surfaced that the Warriors, along with the Atlanta Hawks, are eyeing George, who's currently with the Philadelphia 76ers. It raises the question, could he really be donning the Warriors' blue and gold soon? Now let's be real. Acquiring Paul George wouldn't come cheap. The Sixers have made it clear that they would only part ways with him for a home run deal. Given his struggles this season, both with injuries and performance, it's a risky move. George hasn't exactly lived up to the expectations that come with a max contract. But here's the thing. The Warriors are in win-now mode. With Stephen Curry in the later stages of his prime, the urgency to grab a star is palpable. You have to think about the implications of making such a move. If the Warriors can pull off a trade for George, it would signal their commitment to maximizing Curry's final years at an elite level. I mean, how many chances do we have left to see Curry's brilliance shine on the big stage? Paul George, despite his ups and downs, has the potential to be that second star beside Curry, especially if he can find his rhythm again. The thought of George running alongside Curry and Klay Thompson, it's mouth-watering, isn't it? But let's not forget the Atlanta Hawks in this mix. They're also showing interest in George. Although, honestly, it seems like a puzzling fit for them. They're dealing with their own issues, especially with Jalen Johnson out for the season. It's almost like they'd have to juggle multiple contracts to make this happen, which doesn't align with their current timeline. And then you have the Sixers, who might be reluctant to disrupt their team's continuity so soon after acquiring George. It feels like we're in a delicate situation here. Now, as a fan, I can't ignore that the 76ers are linked to Jimmy Butler as well. If they were to trade George to land Butler, it would shake things up significantly. But is that really the best course of action for Philadelphia, especially in a season where they're already facing challenges? It seems risky, and I personally feel they'd be better off holding on to George for now, even if his performance hasn't been stellar. So, back to the Warriors. Do I think pursuing Paul George is the right path? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, acquiring an all-star player with his experience could elevate the team and provide the necessary support for Curry. On the other hand, if it costs us too much, whether that's future assets or key players, it could backfire. This is a classic case of weighing short-term gains against long-term consequences. And you, what do you think? Should the Warriors go all in for Paul George, or is it better to hold steady? I want to hear your opinions down below. Your thoughts are crucial as we navigate this pivotal moment in the season. As we gear up for the trade deadline, it's crucial to stay connected. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things Warriors. And remember, to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. Let's keep the conversation going, Warriors fans.